Hello everybody, and thank you for joining me once again. I'm really glad to doing another live stream, and this time we will do a Pomodoro clock or a Pomodoro timer. And also yesterday, if you watched my videos, again, like I had created a timer. It was a very simple timer using JavaScript. And again, in this project we will use both JavaScript and some jQuery, and we will do some fun stuff with the animation. So this is going to be a bigger project, and I would suggest you to code with me. I'm using CodePen, and you can find the link in the description box. And the inspiration behind this project is coming from FreeCodeCamp. So I'm not going to follow all the rules for this project, but I'm going to use quite a few of the user stories. One important thing is that I'm not going to use React, although here it is suggested to use React. So this is not the same project. I'm just inspired by FreeCodeCamp, and I will do all the things that I like. Okay? So if you have any suggestion, if you have any comments, any tips or anything, leave a comment and I will try to watch it at the same time as I'm coding, but we will see how this is going to go. Okay, now let's go back to CodePen and I will show you what I've already did. And I have a link, and this link, the only thing that it specifies is the font family, the fonts. We're going to use that a little bit later into the CSS. If you're using CodePen, you don't have to use the link here. You can just have it in this part right here that says stuff or head. I'm just using it on the HTML so everyone can see it, even if you have like joined earlier. Okay, and then I'm using CSS. For the CSS, I have only Bootstrap, and I'm using Bootstrap 3. And then for the JavaScript, I am using three things. One of those is jQuery 3.5, and then also Twitter Bootstrap 4, and then I have a jQuery animation library that it's going to be available again in the description box. It already is actually. We're going to do something like that. It's a small animation, but I think that it will give like a nice touch. And here is the library, and I think that we can start. So on the CSS I don't have anything, on the JavaScript I don't have anything, but on the HTML I have the body, and then I have this class here with text center. Now I will start typing, and maybe the first thing that I will need is just a title. For the title I'm going to use a div. Let's also use a class, and since I'm using Bootstrap, I'm going to go with container fluid. But maybe you don't need that. We will check it out later. So for now, I'm just typing it. Let's close the div, and inside here, let's have our header. Let's go with header 1, since this is a title. And I will have the Pomodoro clock. If you're not familiar with Pomodoro, I'm going to explain in a bit what exactly it is, but let's first write some code and we will have the time to talk more. Also, I'm not sure if you can hear me very well, because my internet it's a little bit slow, so let me know. And I will create a lot of classes, and most of these classes are going to be with just very few styling. So here I'm going to have only a row, and inside here this is going to be our main part. Let's also have actually a command with main part. So yeah, everything will, let's say, start here and they will end somewhere here. Okay, and the main parts. Cool. Now, after the title that we already have, I will need quite a few more things. I want to divide them beautifully. So to do so, I'm going to use maybe the column XS6. So let's start with div class equals, and here we will have the call xs6, and I can also use the text primary. And maybe later, if I don't like these classes, I will change them. But for now, let's start with the simple things that most probably I'm going to use. So here we have the break, and I'm going to do the same thing one more time. But now instead of break, I will use session. And again, instead of session, maybe you can use work or something like that. Let's also leave a line here. Okay, let's think what else I need. Maybe I can also add here another class. So let's do it like this. Div, and here it's going to close. So let's fix that. Let's make it a little bit prettier by adding a class with row, not like that, like this, with row and top row. Okay, that does seem a little bit better. And then we can proceed probably with some buttons. Yes, I think that I'm okay for now. So let's continue with the buttons. I can have also a comment here for buttons. And we will play here a little bit with the time again. So let's start with our main div. This div will also take a class, which is going to be, row. And again, I can take probably this part. Let's copy it here. Oops. Okay. Yep, now we are okay. And here I can add the buttons. There are going to be 3 buttons, and I'm going to show you what I mean. Okay, I can see your comments now. Hi there. Hi, Salvador. Nice. Let's continue with the buttons. So the first button, let's do it like that. The first button, it's going to be type button, and then probably I'm going to need some classes. So the first class is going to take btn. We're going to fix that soon. We're going to add all the classes just in a bit. And let's say link, because it's going to be a link, and btn sm, as it's going to be just a small button. We're going to also use some IDs, and we're going to play with these IDs also in the JavaScript part. Cool. Oh, hello guys, I see your comments. That's nice. Okay, the first button is done, but I have to create some more buttons. The next one is going to be 5, because we will have like a 5-minute break here. And then I'm going to add also a plus button. So let's actually change this as break time and plus. And the user is going to be able to obviously like click on these buttons and change the break. And we're also going to do the same thing with the session. Just one moment to make sure that I have like everything correct here. Maybe I can do this as LG, and this again is small. So I think that now these buttons do look a little bit better. I'm going to copy this part here, and I'm going to paste it just below, because this time we are going to play with the session. For the session, I'm going to change this. Work time, let's create the work time, and let's make this also +2. Now the time, it can vary. It can be like 25 minutes, 20 minutes, 55 minutes. I'm just going to go with 25 minutes, and I hope that this will look quite okay. Alright, buttons are again like almost done. So the next part could be the part with the work and the animation. Okay, so let's also start typing all the things that we need about work and bubble animation. Okay, again the animation is going to take part in the JavaScript, so now we are just going to write the code about it. We are not going to do a lot of stuff. So again, I will do that as a class with row, and let's say again top row. It's not the best name to have a class as a top row, but we will work on that. And let's also create h3. Maybe it looks okay. So for this part we are going to have it as work, and maybe we will need also an ID here because we want to change that. Once it's going to say work, and maybe we can also change it later and have once work and once break, something like that. We will see. So for the ID, I'm going to have it as status. Yeah, I think that this is okay. But now we want to add the animation, and for the animation I'm going to use Canvas. If you haven't used Canvas, I would suggest you to take a look on that. Some people do use it, some people not so much, but I think that for animations it's like a good thing. Okay, so our canvas is ready. Obviously you cannot see anything, and the last thing that we need for this part is to have an ID timer, so we can see the time. It's going to be visible right here. It's going to have a bubble, and again, if you're just joined now, then we will use an animation with jQuery. We're going to do something like that. So that's why I'm creating now the canvas, and inside here, instead of like default, we're going to show the timer. So that's why I have created this part. Okay, I'm adding this div here, and I will create another div like so, and we will create 3 buttons after this bubble. These buttons are going to be yeah, work. I just saw your comment. Yeah, we are going to create 3 buttons: start, stop, and pause, so we can use the Pomodoro clock a little bit easier. We'll copy these 3 buttons, and let's go here, go back. Okay, I will name this as start, stop, or maybe let's do that as pause, and then let's do that as reset, so the other person can also reset. Let's also change the IDs, go with start and pause, and probably reset here. I hope that I remember these names later. I don't need this, so let's delete these classes right here. Okay, so for classes we have btn and btn link, and then the type is button, and we are all done here. Let's check if we are missing something. Div is closing here, and our main part is closing here. So I think that for the HTML we are okay. Yep, we are okay. I think I'm not forgetting anything. Yep. So let's start typing our CSS and make everything a little bit prettier. The first thing that I want to change is some things on the body. Let's give some beautiful colors, or at least colors that I like. So for background color, we will go with, let's stick with blue, but let's go with light blue. I also like light sky blue, but I think that for this project I will go with light blue. Okay, and then I will add another color. So this color is going to go on Pomodoro clock, on work and stuff like that. It's going to be again a color blue violet, and I have mentioned that I like that color. If you have watched my previous videos, you know that I do like this color. Okay, so for H1 and H3, for these headers, let's add the font family, and I have added the font family of Lobster. I do like this font family, so let's go with Lobster, and voila, I think it's a nice font family. And also I want to make the header 1 a little bit bigger, so we'll change the font size. Obviously, if you're working somewhere like professionally, it's not like the best idea to changing stuff like H1, H5 and paragraph. Sometimes it's better to stick to the default ones, but here this is just a project for fun, so I will change those things, and I like that now it looks kind of bigger. Let's play a little bit more with the margins. I'm not going to change a lot of things, but I have created this class right here, so let's copy top row, let's paste it here, and now we can add the margin. Let's start with margin top, and actually I want to make this a little bit smaller, so I'm going with -10 pixels. So everything went up a little bit, and now we can also add the margin, maybe bottom, to give some more space. Not a lot of things has changed. I'm not sure. I will go on that later, and maybe I will change that later, I don't know. For now, I think that I like it. Let's go to was it bottom or was it another class? Bottom. No, I think I have like the top row here, which is okay. Yep, I think that we are okay. I don't think that I want to add some other class here, but maybe I can play a little bit with the buttons. Maybe I can change the color and give it something like for a hover effect. So let's change the color of the buttons, and I will go with color, and here, how was the name? It was blue violet. Yep, that was the one. And I can go also with BTN and hover, so we can change the color. Now when I hover it, it has this underline and it's becoming blue. Maybe I can change it. I will go with color orange. And I don't like the underline, so we'll go with text decoration. Yep. None. Okay, let's check if this has worked. Yep, now everything is purple, so it's working fine. And okay, so now I see some people are colorblind. Okay, I'm sorry for that, but I hope that you can still differentiate some things, because I know that some people with vision problem can still differentiate some things. Anyway, let's continue now with the most fun thing, which for me and for this case, I think it's the JavaScript part. And now I hope that you guys are a little bit patient, because we are going to see a lot of things. On the JavaScript part, if you're joined now, I wanted to mention once again that we are using jQuery, we are using Bootstrap and a fun library for the animation. And that's it. And again, as always, you can find all the details in the description box below. Okay, so let's start working. And I'm going to create some variables that we will use quite a lot for this project. And as I've already mentioned, we're going to play a lot with jQuery. So I have work time as my first variable, and then we will continue with break t for time, and let's go as maybe again I can use it as break time. Cool, let's copy that. Okay, and the last one, it's going to be the status. Do you remember the status that we created in the HTML? Like, we used it for this part here for the work, so now we are going to use it also on the JavaScript parts. So let's name this status as well. Okay, let's continue with the controls for break lengths. And here we will let the user to change the break and the session. So we will make the user to be able to change these numbers to something bigger or something smaller. So every time he clicks on plus, it's going to be like 26, 27, and every time he clicks on minus, it's going to be the opposite thing. To do so, we are going to use again some jQuery. And I don't know if you remember, but we used minus, -2, and plus, +2. So let's play a little bit with these things. I'm going to start with the minus. And here we will have our click function. Like so. Okay. And let's go with the status. Text, and then we will take the break, yay. And the other thing that we are going to use is to have an if condition. So for this if, we will start with the break, so let's make it like this, break t dot text, and if this is greater than 1, then we can have the $break.text. I can use here the break again. Maybe I should copy the break t. Maybe it would be a little bit faster than me typing it every time, but yep, just bear with me. Or if you're coding with me, again, just leave a link at the end and I will check your project. I think that this is also going to be fun. Alright, then we will continue with a plus, and if you're still not sure what I'm doing, is I'm playing with this part right here. So you have the minus, which is for this part, and now I'm going to play a little bit with the plus. Okay, and I copied like this part, I pasted here, but now obviously, oops, I have forgot here, that should be like that, minus, and that should be plus. So we have plus, click function, status, text, break, and then if break, we don't actually need that, so I can remove that line, can remove the if condition, and now we have break, text, break t, and this time we want to add something, so let's change that to the plus symbol, and we are okay with that. The next thing that I'm going to do is to copy all this, go a little bit like later, and here instead of break I'm going to have the session. Okay. Oh, hi, I just saw your comment. I saw that another person have joined in. Yay, hi. We are working on the session right here, and I have the minus button and the plus button, but now we have named these things as -2 and +2. So let's work with these minus and plus. Let's check here if we have everything correct. So it's -2, click function again, and this time we want to have this as work and not break. We will also have to change that to work. It was work, right? Yep, we want this. So we have status, again this is the same, then text work, and I'm going to copy the work here. So I'm going to paste it here and here. This is okay. And then we have like +2, click function, and again instead of break that should be work, and every time that I'm using break it should be work. And now we are okay with that part as well. Now something that I didn't mention is that we are going to have some audio as well. So now you can't see it, but here we're going to add the animation, and I'm going to do that in a bit. But if the other person has reached the maximum point, for example, he has a session of 25 minutes, if that 25 minutes is done, is completed, and a sound is going to be sound is going to be heard. I don't know how can I explain that better, but this means, and you will see that we are going to have some audio. And to use the audio, it's very simple. You just need a variable. In this case, it's going to be audio, and then you take a var audio, new audio, and here you paste. You paste a sound. I've already found a sound that I like. It's a bit like loud, and if you have like heart problems, maybe you shouldn't use that. But yeah, it's quite fun, and you will see it later. You will see how we're going to use that. But I think that it's a nice addition, and not a lot of JavaScript projects are using audios, but maybe you will need it for a project, so it's nice to know how to create it. So now let's create a function so we can actually use it. It's really simple. The only things that you need is an audio and then a function, and then just to call it. So let's do it like audio play, and our function is ready. Okay, let's continue now creating some more functions, and you will see soon what I mean by all these things. But yeah, if some of you guys don't know what is the Pomodoro clock, like leave me a comment. I will check it, and I can like let you know what is this Pomodoro or what we are doing in this project. Okay. So now we will actually start working a little bit on the time, because this is the most important part of our project actually. Okay. We created the pad function, and we are going to use that just in a bit, but first I need another variable, and this time it's going to take the document.get element, I think by ID. Yes, and it will take our timer. Yeah, we used timer here, so this is what we are going to work it. Okay, so let's continue with our timer here. We got this. I just need the semicolon. Sometimes I do forget the semicolons, but it's really important not to forget them. Yep. Let's create our next function, which is going to be something like update display, because we want update display, because we want to update our display, which is going to be here. We want to update that every time. Display, come on. And this is going to take a parameter. I'm giving t for time. And this part, I did something like very similar yesterday. I don't know if you have like watched my yesterday video, but I did something similar. So maybe you could also watch that video if you're not sure how to use the time in JavaScript. I think it's really important, by the way, but yep. Okay, so I will try to do that part a little bit quicker, just because I think most of us are familiar with time. But yeah, so we will need some variables for hours, minutes, and obviously seconds. For minutes, again, I'm going to use the same thing, math.floor, and then again, let's take the time and divide it this time by 60. And again, then I will need to take the time, do the minutes, multiply that by 60. And the last thing that I want is the seconds. And here for the seconds, this is the third time that we're going to use the math.floor. We're going to take the time. And this time we want to do an inner HTML, which I think that it should be in capital, so HTML. And now I'm going to use the pad function that I just created here. And the variable here, it's going to be the hours, then it's going to be the minutes, and then it's going to be the seconds. Okay? So let's also add it, or make it look a little bit prettier like so. Maybe I can now copy this whole part. So the second time is going to be not hours, but minutes. And then it can be like seconds. And obviously I don't need this. Okay guys, are you still with me? Yes, you are. You can see some of you that you're still here with me. Thank you very much for that. But we have quite a few more things to do. And in a bit, we're getting closer. We are getting closer. So now we are going to call our update display function. And we're going to have the time. That's cool. We will need though some more things. So some more variables. The first one is going to be running, and I will give it a value of true. So this is a boolean, let's say. But the next thing that I want is t for time and last. And now we are going to have the new date. And again, this is a function that I used yesterday. So if you're not very familiar on how to use it, again, like I would suggest you to watch my yesterday video, or if you don't want to do that, that's fine. You can just like search it on the internet and you will find like multiple things. Cool. Let's continue with our next function, which is going to be the update. This is going to be a short and sweet function, as I like to call it. We're going to have some if statements, but it will work like very beautifully because we do need that function. So the first thing that I'm going to do is to have an if time is less than 0, then just return. That's it. Just return. Okay. And now, actually it is now. Let's name it now. Let's take the new date. So let's take the new date and let's take the time. So get time. And then also continue the dt. So this is going to be our small yet valuable function. If you have any question, by the way, you can ask me, and I will try to check the comments as much as I can and answer like as much things as I can and as I know. And in general, if you have like any idea, if you have like any cool project that you want me to create, let me know, and again I will do my best to recreate it or create something completely new. Okay, let's continue. The next thing that I will need is again our valuable status. We are going to take some text and we are going to check, like triple check, if it is a work. Like we said earlier, work. And let's take the total time. So total time, which is our new variable. And here inside the parentheses, I'm going to take the work.t. Remember, we have work, and the other thing is like a session t or break t. I don't remember the name of it, but we will check it just in a bit because we are going to need it. Okay, and now I'm using water, so we're going to see that in a bit. Again, this part that I'm typing right now is going to be available here in the work section. I know that you cannot see it, but very soon you will be able to see it. Also, I think that I'm going to use here RGBA because I want to check a little bit the opacity. So A is for the opacity, and I don't want that to, or maybe not, maybe I can. Okay, we will see that. I'm going to leave that as a comment because I'm not yet sure what I want. I'm going to add for now just a simple color, let's say blue, but I will check it later and maybe I will change that color. Maybe I can play with RGBA as I said earlier. Okay, so now the other thing that I want is, let's copy that, paste it here. And now instead of work, we have the break, because sometimes, you know, it's break. We have again the total time. This time this should be break, and yes, I named that break, now I remember. And we can change that. What thing? Maybe I can do that like orange. Well, maybe later, I don't know, I will change the color again. I'm not sure about the colors right now. Maybe you can leave in the comment the color that you like and I can add it later. But I will add it only if I like it, okay? Okay, so let's go with function, and now I'm going to have 1 minus. This time it's going to be time divided by total time. And we will play a little bit now with, I think it's time actually to write our, or maybe not. I was thinking if it was time to write the animation or not, but I think that I want to keep you with me, so we're not going to have the animation just now. We are going to type that a little bit later. So let's create a few more things. One really important thing that we have to keep in mind for our user is the progress. Okay, so for the progress, now I'm going to use our water bubble. And again, this is something that we are just creating. So this is something new. And now is where we are going to use that library animation, and that's why I also created the fraction just before. So let's use for the data the fraction. The next thing that I need is the animation. And guys, I know that I want these things because I checked the documentation just before I started this video. So I know that if we want to have like a nice animation, I should add these things. And yeah, that's it for here. So now I need to play a little bit more with the time. Okay, so if this is going to be a big if, I mean, not a big, I'm not going to type a lot of things here, but the condition is going to have some important things. So it's going to be again our 0, and inside here I'm going to need again another if, and this time it will check the work. So I think that we did something similar here. Maybe I can copy. I'm not sure if I should copy it or not. Let's just copy it and we will see. So, oops. Let's do it like this, and now let's check what I need. So you have like a status text. Why do I have a test here? That should be text. Oh my god. Text. Let's go to change that. Oh my god. If I do silly mistakes like so, please let me know, because that was like really silly. Okay, so text, and now I have text again. Okay. If status.text equals a work, triple equals like work, then we are going to have the sum that we added before. It was with the bib function, and then we have status text, and we're going to change that. So maybe I can add it right here. We're going to change the status from work to break, because now we are in the part that our user has entered with the session and it's going on break. So we want to change that and show the text of break. And then the time is going to be like so. So you have time, then that should be break, and status, no, that should be time, break, text. I definitely don't need to change that, but now I'm thinking about time, if it's correct. Let's check it. So time, break, and this is like so. So break dot text, and obviously I don't need that. Okay, so now it does seem a little bit better. I have the time, and I need here my else function. Yeah, but I'm hoping I just saw your comments, guys, and I hope that I haven't created any other like silly mistake, because then when you're doing mistakes, it's always like a little bit harder to notice them. But anyway, so let's go to else, and we have the bib again. Then this time we want the status text not to be break, but we want to be work, so it's going to be the opposite. And then here again we don't want break, but we want work. And we're multiplying by 60. And again we are cool and good to go. Alright, we are getting closer. We are definitely getting closer. We just need to call one more time our function update display with time, and then check. Do you remember our running parameter that we did just a little bit earlier? Well, now it's time to play with that. And we're going to make another function that it's already created for us. It's the request animation frame, and we are going to take the update. Okay, cool. We have that, and I hope that again I'm not forgetting to close anything. Okay, I think that here is okay, and now we can create our other function. This other function is going to be the run. Okay, and again here we will have to change a few things. The first thing that we will do is to take the status, so status text, and it's going to be work. And this time maybe I can take this. So if time, as you can see, I'm reusing some stuff, but this is also the fun part of programming, that if you have created something, you don't have to retype it again and again. You can simply just copy paste it. Okay, so that's it for here, but now we also need to take the time last, and we also did something similar before. We are taking the date, and we are also taking the time, and we want to change the running to true, because this means that our session right here is running. You will see that. Okay, and the last thing that we are going to do is update our request animation frame. Okay, I'm closing here this function, and now I think that we have to write our two last functions, the one for the pause and the one for stop or reset. Okay, we don't have a lot of things to do, just bear with me a little bit more. And again, like, if you have any question, feel free to ask me, or if you have like any suggestion, again, feel free to type it. Okay, so for these functions, pause and stop, that has to do like with this button, we're going to have to play a little bit more. So let's start with having our running. So this time the running is going to be false. Yep. And then what else do I need? I need to change the time to 0 and take the inner HTML once again and make everything go to 0, 0, and 0. So we don't have hours, we don't have minutes, we don't have seconds, we don't have anything. And we obviously now have to change the text one more time. Let's go with work. And one of the last things that we have to also change is the work T. If someone goes to hit like the reset, we are going to change this to, let's say, instead of 25, let's go with 55. And if someone like wants to change the break, so this time we can change it, I think 5 minutes, sorry, for break is okay, so we'll keep that. And now the other thing that I want is again like this progress thing. I will take the progress, I will actually copy this whole part right here, and let's go here and check what we want to change. We want the progress, the data that this time is going to be just 0, the animation that again is going to be false, and the watercolor that it's going to be, maybe I can change that, I don't know, maybe the color, I mean, should be something different, right? Yep, okay. So now let's create the buttons. I want to show here on the buttons also like the values, because maybe the break is going to be like 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 3 minutes. I want also to show that part as well. So to do so, I'm going to do it like B start, and then let's take the document, get element by ID, and let's go with start. Okay, let's copy that and I will paste it 2 more times. I want the second time to be pause, and the last time I want to be reset. Cool. Obviously I also need to change our variables here, so we have like reset, and the last thing is the pause, which I haven't typed correctly. Yep, we do have the pause as well. And now I will take, I'm not sure if this is faster. No, I was going to copy these things, but it's not going to be faster. Let's take the B start dot onClick. onClick is one of my favorite functions, I think. Run, and now I'm going to copy this and paste it 2 more times. 1 for pause and 1 for stop. And obviously I need to change this with pause. This should be capital. Yep. And then the other thing is here I have it as a reset. Correct. Okay. What else do I need? All right, now I really promise that it's the fun part and it's the last part. I promise. Okay, it's just the last part, and you will see the animation. Okay, or I hope that you will see the animation. If we have done like everything correct, you should be able to see it, but we will like really check it right now. Okay, we will have the progress. Yay! So here I'm going to take the progress, and I'm hoping that I'm typing this thing correctly, and then we will take the bubble, and this time we need something like that. Okay, and maybe here I can add a semicolon, and I'm going to add, I'm not sure about the structure. I don't like this structure. Maybe this is better. Anyway, we will see that. Okay, so for here, the first thing that we will do is to create the bubble size. So this is what I was talking about. So let's go with radius and go with 100. This is going to be the radius of our bubble. And then we want the line width. And again, like I know these things because I checked the documentation, and I know that to use the animation you have to have like these properties. The watercolor is going to be, I think, orange, but if I don't like that, maybe we can change that later. And other than that, I will need to have a text color. So for the text color, guess what? We are still going to go with orange. And do I need anything else for the font family or the font? Like I can keep it like really simple. I like what I have, so maybe I want to change that. Oops, I forgot here. Okay, and then for the wave, because this is going to be a beautiful animation, we want to make it true, and this is going to be undefined. Okay, and the last thing is the animation, which is going to be false. Okay, so now I think that I'm missing something, because I cannot see some things that I should see. Okay, I have also here reference error break is not defined. What was the name of that? I think it was break. Okay, let's take that break time and go to the HTML. I think that maybe I'm missing something here, but I'm not sure. These things are correct. So the IDs are minus, break time, and plus, and here it's like -2, work 2, and +2. But on the JavaScript part, why break isn't defined? It's break t. I should be using that somewhere. Okay. Okay, this is coming like a little bit better, but still break. But I'm not using this break somewhere, am I? Break T. I think that I have like break T everywhere. Okay. Break T. So that was wrong. I found one, but I'm not sure if I'm using this. Okay, this is definitely wrong. Let's try to find where I'm using break. Oops, I didn't want that. Break, oh my god. Break, that seems better. Yep, that seems better. Okay. But again, okay, minus is working fine, but like this isn't working really well. The plus isn't working really well, but the minus does works well. And for the session, okay, I think that I have something with the plus because it's not working as it should work. Let's check it one more time. So let's start checking here. I have minus, click function, status text break. Yep. If plus break text is greater than 1, then break text, break t, text. Okay, so here is one of our problems that should be plus. Yeah, so this is definitely one of our problems. But then let's check the plus. Yep, this is also one problem that should be plus. And let's do the same thing at work. That should be plus. And also that should be plus. Okay, let's save it and check it like one more time. Yeah, now the break is working. We are good with that. Let's check the session. Session is also working. So again, we are good with that as well. But now the other thing that it's not working as it should work is our timer. So we should have like a timer here. I think that, let's do it a little bit like this. So here we have work with status, timer and timer. I think that these things are like okay. Let me think. Okay. Okay, I know what's the problem here. I should have taken our progress and I should have it in our canvas. So canvas ID, like this thing is not timer. This thing is progress. Yay! And now we have it. Let's check if it's working fine. But like, give me a thumbs up because we are doing that. We have our break. Let's make it into 2. We have our session. Let's go with 10 minutes. Okay, and now we will hit start. Okay. So now I have found like another problem that this thing like doesn't work as it should work. I think that maybe we should see the time here, like going up and down. So let's also fix that. Let's also try to fix that. What am I missing? Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I'm missing something here. So I can have this as a timer. Then I have the start, pause, and reset. Yeah, these things are fine. I don't think that I'm missing anything here. The thing is that this timer isn't working as it's supposed to work. Let's also go back to the JavaScript and let's continue checking our functions, and hopefully we will find what's wrong with our time. Okay, so we checked the audio and update display. Okay, so let's start checking everything from update display. We have hours, math floor, okay, 3060, and we have minus equals hours. Okay, then the same goes for minutes. This is okay. Minutes are done. And we have the seconds, which goes with math floor. Okay, and the last thing is the inner HTML, pad hours, cool, plus pad minutes, plus pad seconds. Okay, then we have the time, and we have the update display. Okay, don't think that I'm missing anything here. So the next thing is the var running true, cool, t last with new date, which gets the time, and then we have our function with update. Okay, so we can check here if everything is going correctly. The first thing is if time is less than 0, then return. Okay, and var t now, and it's getting the new date again with getting time, dt, which is t now minus t last, and here we do that so it can go like down by 1 second every time. So the t last get updated. Okay, but here we are missing something. The time should also be updated, and it should go with, okay, I think that here we definitely have a problem. So t last should take the t now, yep, and time should take the dt. Okay, so let's check one more time, and if that was not the problem, we can continue. So let's go with maybe 18 minutes and hit on start. So no, that wasn't our problem. Let's keep checking to see if we have like anything else that should be fixed. So where was I? Okay, I think that I was on that if. So if status.text equals to triple equals to work, then the total time equals, or it's getting the work.text and 60. And then for the water, here is where I was saying that maybe we can play with RGBA a little bit. So I'm not using RGBA very often, but sometimes like it's nice to work with things that you don't use very often. I will give some values a little bit randomly, but if you're using also RGBA, you definitely need 4 values. The 4th one goes for the opacity, so 0 is something that you won't see, and 1 it's the highest. It goes from 1 to 0. Okay. So our water is also ready, and then let's continue with our other if. So if status.text, and this time triple equals to break, then we will take the total time, we will take the break.text, and again we will multiply it by 60, and this time we will change the water to, I think that this time orange is okay. I'm not going to change it again. So we have the function which takes the time and divide it by the total time. This is cool. And we have the progress here. This is where we had the problem before. Maybe I have like mistyped the water bubble. I don't know. I think that I have like typed this thing correctly, but we will also see just in a bit. So here for the progress, I have the data, I have like the animation, and I have the watercolor. So I have function, false, and water. This is okay if you want to have like a comma. This doesn't matter because maybe other times you will have more data. Okay. So if time is less than 0, and then again it takes an if statement again. This time it goes with if status text is equals to work, so triple equals, then it will make a sound, and the status dot text is going to be break, and again we are taking the time, and break dot t text multiplied by 60. That's cool. And the else part is going to take again the beep, the status dot text, and time work text multiplied by 60. Okay, that does look cool. And the other thing that we did was to update the display by time. So we said that if running, then request animation frame. We took the update, and that was also done. And one of the last functions that we wrote was the run one. So this one. I think that here it's the problem. I'm not sure, but I think that here it must lie the problem. Let's see. Again, we have if status.text work. Okay, so if time is less than 0, then it goes with time equals work t text. Okay, and t last, it gets the new date, it gets the time, and it goes to create the, not create, but to change the running function to true. I think that is the problem, but I'm not sure why it's not working. It should work. So when I was going to, let's say 26, and then I was going to start, this value should change, but it doesn't. So I'm not sure why it's not running. So then we have the pause running false and stop with running false, and time goes to 0, inner HTML is going to 0, and status text is changing to work. The work goes to 55. This would be if you wanted to do a reset, it would change to 25. And the break, oh my god, this is again break.t. Okay, I should change that. Okay, yeah, break.t. I found another small mistake. So you have the progress dot water bubble. I think that I'm typing that correctly. And again, I'm taking the data, I'm taking the animation and the watercolor. And last but not least, I'm having the 3 variables for start, pause, and reset. And now each time I'm getting the document get element by ID, and I have like start, pause, and reset. I'm changing here the B start and click, B pause and reset. That should be like run, pause, and stop. This is the functions that we created here and here. So we are using them like so. And the last thing is the progress with the water bubble, and here it takes like different parameters such as radius, line width, data, watercolor, text color, and font, wave, and txt and animation. But that's pretty much it. So now, I don't know. No, I just saw your comment that says, did you write the function request animation frame? No, I didn't wrote that. You're correct, I didn't wrote that. But this is something that we have it from the library, so we don't have to write that function. Yeah, because we are using like this library, customize liquid bubble chart with jQuery canvas, so we already have some functions. That's why I didn't use it. Okay, what am I missing? Okay, let's go back to the HTML, because sometimes things are easier than what we actually want to think that they are. Let's check. Okay, so here I will go from bottom to top. So here we have like our IDs with start, pause, and reset. I think that these things are correct. I don't think I'm missing anything. If you want to make these things like a little bit prettier, you can add also class here. But this is not the important thing right now. Yep, this is not the important thing right now. Okay, let's go one step up. Div ID and timer. And then we have like the progress and the ID status with work. Let's take this ID and check here. Okay, I'm using the timer on line 37, which I think that it's okay. That's how I should be using it. But what else am I missing? What else? Let's try to, oops, yes, unexpected, uncode syntax invalid or unexpected token. What? That was correct just some seconds ago, right? So what happened here? Let's check it a little bit more thoroughly one more time. So we have plus click function, status text break, and break t text plus break t text plus 1. I don't think that we have like anything wrong here, so I'm going to save it and refresh it, because that used to play like pretty good. Yep. We don't have like that thing now, so I don't know what was wrong before. Anyway, still our animation isn't visible, and I don't know why. I'm thinking maybe it has to do something with jQuery, because this animation is a little bit old. So maybe it used to play with another jQuery, like something a bit older, or maybe even like an older version of Bootstrap. Sometimes these things happen, but yeah, I'm not sure for now. Let's try to find something. Okay, I believe that I have no idea right now what's not working. Do you guys have in the comments any idea? Like, what could go wrong? Update display. Okay. Which takes the time. It has the hours, it has the minutes. Yep, and it has the seconds. So hours, minutes, seconds, and also this function, the pad, which is coming from here. And wait, so value, and it returns the 0 plus the value and slice 2, and then it takes the document .get element by ID, and here is where the timer, it should work. Okay. Status text work if time is less than work until last. Let's just check one more time the run function, and maybe there is also a problem in that function, although I'm not sure. Okay, I think it goes well. So it has status text work, and then if time is less than 0, it takes the time and it goes to work and it changes. Then till last, it takes the new date with get time and the run gets changing. The request animation frame is also using the update, so that's all good. The pause and stop are not doing like a lot of things. And inside the stop function, we have like the progress, which again, like I think that it should work fine. And then we have like these 3 buttons with start, pause, and onClick. And the last thing is the progress. Okay. Yep. Alright, I'm not sure that I can find the mistake right now. So I think that I will leave this live stream as it is right now. I'm really sorry about that, but I'm not sure that I can find the mistake. But I will definitely like come back to you, and I will leave a working link in the description or as a comment. So yeah, I'm sorry guys for that, but I still hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you find something valuable, and I think that I will see you really soon, hopefully with a project that it will go a little bit better. Okay guys, so stay home, stay safe, and again, I hope to see you really soon, and sorry for that, but come back to check the project as I will leave on my CodePen a project that it's going to work fine. Bye!